Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bears on Tap, a podcast about the Chicago Bears presented to you by On Tap Sportsnet. I'm your host, Brennan Suarez. You can follow me on Twitter at BDown300. You can follow my co-host, Quinn, at BuckHisStats, and Joey at Joey Knows Nothing. Another tough one. Don't know how else to cut it. 27-24, Falcons get away at home. With the victory, Justin Fields looked like he was a little shaken up after the game, but just another game where it's like one possession, you just need one more drive, you need one more stop, and the Bears are not able to get it. And we're on the wrong side of this one. Another loss. Now we dropped to 3-8 on the season. Joey, how are you, my guy?
The Bears are not a state.
Not a state. Arlington Heights, Chicago, none of it.
I don't know, man. Like I woke up last night. I had a 16-ounce sirloin steak, Texas Roadhouse, a loaded baked potato, all your fancy stuff in there, nice bacon in it, the sour cream, the butter, all that. Got the cinnamon butter with the bread that they give you. Today I ordered Jimmy John's, a big gargantuan sandwich, cracking beers on my couch, whole house to myself. And I'm like, I'm ready to watch a Bears win. I'm ready to watch them dominate the Falcons like they should on an artificial turf with Justin Fields, the fastest player alive, it feels like. And they just couldn't pull it out, man. Like, I don't know. It sucks. I feel like a lot of this is on coaching, too, at the same time. And they need more talent. So, I mean, we're going to get into it, but I don't like tanking. I hate the fucking tanking. Like, it's not – to me, you tank in a year that you need a quarterback. We have a quarterback. So I guess I'm a little frustrated. I know we're supposed to put a positive spin on it, but I don't know. I'm just not happy today.
Q, how about you, my guy?
Yeah, I mean, that game sucked. Losing sucks. You know, I mean, it is what it is. This is not a good football team. This is a football team propped up by an uber athletic, uber talented quarterback who's doing everything he can to try to win games despite everything around him falling to pieces. And yeah, the last throw wasn't great. Still hit his hands. Still, could have been something. The O-line was backed up into his lap, so he had to throw it high, release it a little earlier because he couldn't hit the guy's helmet in front of him, which is something that we saw a few times happen today. Some on field, some on the pass blocking because there was a guy right in his face as he's releasing it. Ultimately, this team isn't – I mean, how far could Fields get this team even if they won these close games, though? Could they make the playoffs? Could they – this roster is just – it's a problem right now. And they're about to spend – it's something ludicrous. Like, they need to spend $130 million this offseason to meet the minimum spending requirement over the 3-year window. These are auditions for next year's team. And right now – not a whole lot of guys are looking like they're staying.
Yeah, and I mean, overall, frustrating game, a game that, you kind of have control of right before the half, and then everything kind of falls apart one piece at a time. They're able to tie it up before the half. And then in the second half, the offense just wasn't able to get moving. We have been able to see this offense be better over the last few weeks, but eventually you knew kind of the wheels would fall off. And I mean, never did I ever think I would say the Bears are falling off when they scored 24 points, but you needed 30 to win this game. We talked about it in the pregame. It was a game that you were going to need quite a few points to win, and defensively you couldn't get the stops. And then towards the end, it's like Fields really looked like he was legitimately hurt at the end of the game. So it's like, even if you're able to extend that drive, is Fields 100%? Do we even want him going if he's 100%? Because it's like, what are we fighting for at this point? You think about it. What are we truly fighting for at this point? Do we want Fields to finish this drive?
Only if he's 100%. Because if he's not 100%, there's no reason to play him. But I think getting the reps in is important for him still. Like, even though, maybe they're not the best reps because your O-line sucks. And, dude, how many times where they would show almost like the all-22 replay, and you could tell, there's, nobody fucking open, and then there's a guy in his face. And it's like, what else is he supposed to do other than do his little spin move and break a tackle and try to make something happen with either his arm or his legs? But like, I don't know, man. It's frustrating. I could tell you one thing though, like the one guy who I know you're going to be excited to talk about today, the one guy who we can say is legit and is going to be here next year, because we don't know like how many guys are actually here next year. I didn't know Travis Kelce was a Chicago Bear now. Cole Kmet, dude, that fucking catch in the first half. Let's go. You're starting to see it. You're starting to see it with Cole Kmet. They're getting him. They're using him the right way. That was an incredible catch. Just wanted to get that out.
You have to remember before before either of you started on tap, I called Cole Kmet the next version of the baby Gronk. Like I called him the baby Gronk. So I
thought that was Adam Shaheen right there. They were calling Adam Shaheen that.
I will die on that hill, and right now my feet are like entrenched in 3 inches of grass and mold just stuck to that hill because I haven't been able to like say, yeah, like he's scoring touchdowns. He's making incredible catches. He's helping this offense out because even though we've scored a bunch of points, like, are we really that good of an offense if you think about it?
All around? No. I mean,
because if we're that good of an offense, we're able to at least get to the 50 and maybe make something happen on this drive. Like we just died out at the end.
Bears right now, the way I see it, we're an explosive offense. Explosive isn't always good. Explosive isn't consistent. Explosive doesn't mean that you're going to get what you need when you need it. It means you're dangerous. We are extremely dangerous because of the quarterback and inconsistent and unable to come through in the moments when we need it, because those are the moments where talent wins out. Talent wins out in the big moments when they're playing man coverage, when they're saying it's you against me. This snap is for the game and you need to beat me. The less talented team usually doesn't come out on top.
That's rough, man. It's rough. Like, I agree with you on that sense. Like, I do believe it's an explosive offense that you just can't really always count on when you need it to, especially in the second half where it was very evident today. And it's like, man, like Montgomery too, dude. Like Montgomery's a fighter for those yards and everything. But like, why in the fuck is Tristan Ebner like getting a lot of the carries that Montgomery should have been? And I hated the fact that the broadcast was like talking about Montgomery and like, oh, Herbert's out, Montgomery's getting this increased role, and look at him, he's making the most of it. Like, dude, do people not realize that Montgomery's been like the workhorse back for the last 3 years at least for the Bears? Like, I'm sorry, but you can use him a little bit better. So I guess my biggest issue is the way that players are being used, and then also the play calls that are being made, like in certain situations where I feel like Getsy's kind of getting a little bit too comfortable with, okay, Fields can get me a couple yards here, and like that's crucial, especially like on a first or second down where even if the play breaks down to shit from what he had designed, Fields will probably still be able to accelerate, hit the corner, and pick up a couple yards, or he'll break tackles and be able to pick up a couple yards and then shorten third down, where it's like, you know what? You can't always rely on that because, first of all, you're going to get your quarterback killed, number one, because you're doing that all game long or doing design runs all game long. But number two, like the defense is starting to sniff that out. And it's like, you probably are better off just going for like, I don't know, like anything else other than a designed run every single fucking play.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you see first down, run, second down, run, third down, just do something. I mean, that's how it felt this game for a lot of this game. And like another thing that I think of on the like explosive, not consistent standpoint is like that becomes so volatile. Like Fields misses the deep ball to Mooney in the first quarter. That ball ends up being punted. That possession gets punted. It's like that's how volatile it is though. You miss one play and everything changes because of it, because you don't have an offense that can go march down the field consistently like that.
Yeah, and I think too, like the playmakers weren't necessarily making plays today. Like Cole Kmet had a few in there, Mooney had a few in there, Montgomery had a few in there. But other than that, it was like the offense didn't look too positive at points. I know, like I said, previous Bears teams, we would have killed to have 24 points, but you knew this game was going to be a shootout. You knew it was probably going to be a one-possession game. And even towards the end, the defense got not necessarily a stop, but like we're not going to give you a touchdown. We're not going to let you kick a field goal as time expires, right? Like they got the stop. We saved our timeouts. We gave that opportunity to Fields. And I think Gessie just said, hey, you know what? Fuck it. We already lost. Like Fields is kind of dead right now. I don't know what I'm going to play. And on the first play, he calls a fucking QB draw. And I'm like, are we a serious team or are we not a serious team? And of course, the Bears end up not being able to convert and extending the game because Justin Fields threw an interception. And like you said, Quentin, another play that goes off David Montgomery's hands. And not really an interception that you can necessarily pin on Fields, but it's like at a certain point it has to end. Like we have to get the right guys around this guy and make sure that he's able to finish these drives and give us that game-winning touchdown drive. Like I swear to God, it's been 4 or 5 times this year where we've gotten that ball in that same situation where it's like, okay, we have Justin Fields. We may not have the best players around him, but give him an opportunity to go down there and win the game.
Yeah, and I mean that interception, like
it's on Monty. You got to catch
so
the
many
fucking ball.
interceptions. It's on Monty. It's on the pass blocking. It's on Fields. You know, it's on everybody involved in that play. Like, you know, Fields left the ball high. In a perfect world, he hits Monty on the numbers. You know, in a perfect world, the pass blocking is there. In the perfect world, David Montgomery makes a fingertip catch. You know, it's on all three. What degree you choose to weigh heavier, that's just hearsay. You know, to whoever wants to put it on this guy, put it on that guy, that's fine. But the reality is your passing offense is utterly broken. You know, like you don't trust the entire process of throwing the football right now. You don't trust the O-line to hold up, to give a clean pocket on a play-to-play basis. You can't trust them to win 80% of their dropbacks. And league average is probably somewhere around 90. Like, you know, you don't trust the wide receivers to get separation, to run their routes correctly, to, you know, even if you're trying to go quick game, you don't trust them to get that separation within the first 3 yards of the route. Like, what are we doing here talking about field passing ability? There's nothing out there for him to work with. And where on earth is Chase Claypool? Like, what is happening?
How many snaps do you think he played today, even?
I don't know. I think he had like 15 in the first half out of like 30.
May have thrown him the ball like 2 or 3 times.
He had one that was like a nice first down or chain mover, but like other than that, he was like irrelevant. It felt like. Yeah,
teams are just saying we take away Mooney, and all we have to worry about is Kmet. Like, still, that's all you're sitting here saying.
It's frustrating.
I hate that, like, this whole week now, we're going to go throughout the week, and there's going to be this narrative of, like, Justin Fields in a 2-minute offense. He can't get it done. When teams know that they're going to throw the ball, they can't throw the ball. And is Fields really the guy? Look at the mistake he made late in the game. I hate that that's going to be a narrative and a talking point throughout the week, because if you look at throughout the game, what the fuck is he supposed to do most of the time? Like, I don't understand what you're trying to have him pull it out of his ass almost every play. And then you look at what he can do. Look at that throw to Montgomery that he was running to the side. Yeah. That was one of the most gorgeous throws you'll see on the run.
After breaking 2 sacks and navigating Monty downfield. I mean, that was beautiful. That's as good as quarterback play gets right there.
And it's like, it's sad that we don't have that consistency right now, but it's like, you can see that it's there. Like with this kid, he's got it. You just need to build everything else around him and I've also heard, you know, is he a guy that can elevate the offense right now? Well, right now, yes, he is elevating the entire offense. But I just don't think, like, when you need a throw to be made, it's going to be, you can't rely on it at all because nobody's getting open and nobody's stopping anyone.
Well, yeah, and I was going to say, it's not even necessarily on the throw. It's like the throw may be made. The throw might be there.
Yeah, or it's going to get dropped.
Is it going to be caught? Is it going to be tipped into a defender's hands? Like, we're at that point with this team where we don't have the players around to make those plays. And to think like, look, we've lost all these one possession games. Imagine where we are if we have a team that's worth a shit.
Yeah. Do these just become coin flips? Do they have, how many is that? 8 losses and all but one were by one score. If we coin flip the other 7, so that's 3 more wins. That you add talent to this roster, that's probably what you're looking at. If you get the roster's talent at the league average, you're looking at these as 50-50 shots.
It's every game, dude. It's every fucking week. 50-50 game. Should have won, could have won, couldn't pull it out. And it's getting annoying when you look and you see like how much talent that we have at the one position that we've never had talent at. And then you come away with a loss. And it's like, I know we're not supposed to be upset at this. We're supposed to be real happy that we have the guy, right? But like there's a lot of things around there that like, are we sure that the offensive coordinator is actually built for Justin Fields? Like, I'm not 100% sold on that yet either, because I feel like we have not been able to see what we need to see truly, even from Getsy yet, as far as like what if they got into a game where it was just absolutely, you need to come out and you need to put up 40 points against the Chiefs, right? Like it was a back and forth. Like we're not going out there, we're not airing it out. Not saying you have to put up 40 points. Obviously, we've seen that with the Bears where they don't need that, but
no, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that last drive that we had before it was all over almost seemed as if it was called as if it was Bears 27, Falcons 24, right? Like first down, run the third, run the outside RPO where the quarterback runs it, but don't go out of bounds, stay in bounds. Like that little fucking 4-play set right there really set me off, because it's like, look, man, me especially, like I'm sitting here like fucking Dave Chappelle on the episode, like y'all got another one of those. Like I'm like, give me a Justin Fields touchdown drive to win the fucking game. I want to see that. I want that moment for him. Me and Quentin talked about for probably like 10 to 15 minutes just about the fact that Justin Fields is from Georgia. He grew up a Falcons fan. He grew up rooting for the Falcons, grew up idolizing Michael Vick, shit like that. And it's like, you don't think Justin Fields the human, because at the end of the day, there's always a human element to everything that we talk about. As much as, the NFL and football and all this stuff may seem robotic and it's systematic and all that shit, Justin Fields is a regular dude just like all of us. And we see how much he embraces small things like that. You don't think he wanted to go out there and win that fucking game in front of all his friends and family, in front of all the people he grew up in front of everybody that's still a Falcons fan that he grew up around? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It's frustrating as a Bears fan, because at the end of the day, like you see in Quentin's name, one game closer to Willie Anderson, one game closer to a new draft pick and maybe some free agents, but we still don't know, okay? I am a millennial to the fullest. I need the instant gratification that my fucking Chicago Bears are going to be good. At the end of the day, we don't know that. Yeah, we're going to get draft picks or we're going to sign people, and we're probably going to get burned on one or two of those people in the fucking free agent cycle. Who knows? But are we going to be a good team, a team good enough to win a Super Bowl on the other side of this? We're not going to know that. So
you could have a guy that fails his physical for free agency.
I'm not a trust the process guy, man. Win with what you got in front of you. Find a way to figure it the fuck out.
So here's the way I see it. You add that talent to this roster, that high-end draft pick, the high-paid free agents. I don't know if they're a Super Bowl contender. I know they're good enough to make the playoffs just based on talent alone. Just about any coach you bring in the league with that much talent, yeah, you can probably make the playoffs in this division, especially in the NFC. Like, you're right, though. I mean, the question about can they win a Super Bowl? Can they get to an NFC championship? That's a whole nother story. I mean, the talent alone, if they add it around Fields, I'm confident is enough to get them to the playoffs. From there, that's where coaching really makes the difference to me. Once they get to the playoffs, that's what are your coaches doing once you're there? And to ensure you're getting there, sure. The coaches, they can fill the gap of talent, but once you're getting the roster up to talent and we're seeing the talent that Fields has, I'm confident this team's a playoff team at least.
I think we can put to bed, though, the narrative that Luke Getsy's going to be leaving in the offseason for head coaching positions or be in a – dude, people have been talking about that shit even on the radio and saying, I'm not calling anybody out.
Luke Getsy's going to be leaving because I punched him in the face because he's terrible at his job.
That's why he's gone. Yeah, it was the
All
old
it takes.
it was the who was last year that got cut? Was it Javon Wims?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Javon Wims. I don't know. Just dude, it's just crazy though. Yeah, I don't know where this team's going to be next year. I don't think either of us, any of us, know whether they're actually going to be a playoff team or not. Even, but like, I do feel good about the fact that they will have money to spend, and we at least feel like we have that position figured out. Now, everybody wants yards, everybody wants passing yards, and more efficiency. To me, I think it's just more efficiency from the passing game just as a whole. It's not necessarily on fields because we've seen time and time again where there's nothing around him. Somebody's dropping the ball just at the end of the game where it happened. I think some of the things that he needs to work on, though, like for whatever reason, like we were talking about it in during the game, beat on like the tip balls at the line. Like there's a lot of tip balls, like potential interceptions. Riley Reef came in there, and I can't hear you right now. You're talking, but you're on
I
mute.
said throwing it off dudes' face masks too because he did that again today.
Yeah, throwing it right off
someone's chin.
He's giving people concussions. He's putting them on the IR from throwing it at his line too often. So, I mean, just a little bit of loft, man. A little bit of touch. Don't try to do all this sidearm. Like, it's great that he can make those throws. But, like, sometimes you just need a little bit of loft, a little bit of touch. And that does the trick fine. Like, I don't know if that's not every play that where there's a tip ball. Sometimes the defensive line just makes a really good play, get their hands up, whatever. And you can't always do just a touch pass because you're going to take some mustard off where you need a little bit of extra mustard on it. But, like, we're seeing it a lot. We're seeing it a little too often for my liking, especially. Like,
so the way that I'm reading them is that it's throws between the hashes over the line where it seems like he's timing routes. Maybe he's a tick late on them and is trying to get a little extra on it to make up for it, which he has the arm to do. But over the middle of the field, you're throwing the ball low, right? A bullet pass low is going to have a lower trajectory and has that higher risk of not clearing the line. Now, he needs to get better with that. Absolutely. Maybe he just needs to get a tick faster with that read or something along those lines. But he's essentially throwing it down towards the guy's feet. So the final play of today's game for their offense isn't happening. He's worried about airmailing it a little bit, even a little bit, because he doesn't trust guys to go up and get the ball.
Yeah, and I think right now too, it's like no matter what we do on offense, we know we're handicapped by the defense because, like, if you put the 11 most fit guys in OnTap Sportsnet out there on offense, right, we're hanging and at least covering whatever spread you give us against the Bears defense because they are fucking bums.
Hold on. Can I ask you how we decide who the most fit guys are at OnTap Sportsnet?
We run maybe like an OnTap Sportsnet combine or something. Like I don't.
We only have one event. Who can do the most curls? That's it.
Who can do the most curls? Whose jersey fits the tightest? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Bears.
Mine's all beer gut, dude. I'm fitting real tight with the beer gut.
I'm talking 12-ounce curls here.
The Bears defense cannot stop anyone right now. And to even be able to say, like, hey, we kept the Falcons to 27, right? If we all said that, right, if we kept the Falcons under 30 going into this game, we probably would have thought that, hey, we're going to have a chance to win this game late. Sure as shit. Have a chance to win this game late. Don't capitalize. And another great tank loss. But I think that the worst part, right, is even – and we're all Cubs fans here, so we can all kind of level with this. No matter what sport we've watched, Cubs, Bulls, Blackhawks, whatever, in Chicago, we've never seen a team that has fought so hard but tanked just as hard at the same time. And we've never even really seen a team tank like this because none of us are White Sox fans. But, like, I'm sorry, I had to get that off. But
2012, 2013
Hey, listen,
Cubs.
I'll say I've seen a
uh,
lot of tanking too. I've seen a lot of Cubs
listen,
tanking too.
but the
Yeah.
Bears are tanking in the most like, we're not gonna not cover, but we're not gonna cover for you. We're just gonna push. We're just gonna hang around in every game and maybe lose by like 3 or 4 points in games that if we maybe just got one more fucking drive, if we maybe just had a couple more Jimmys and Joes, and maybe just 1 or 2, 3 more X's and O's because Luke Getsy's a fucking fraud, then maybe we find a way to win a football game. But now we're sitting here at 3-8. The season is long gone. We really don't know. Like, if we sat here and had a Bears cut day and sat here and said, hey, this guy's going to be on the Bears in 2023, I'm not confident any of the 3 of us, and even if we had Ron join us too, any of the 4 of us would hit 50% of those guys. Okay? Like, these guys are not good at football, just like Quinn said. Just like Quentin took like the first 2 minutes of the show to say, like, no matter what we say, at the end of the day, we are just not a good football team. It took me until the week before fucking Thanksgiving when I thought, hey, when I sit down there and get my fat plate and get my turkey ready, we're going to be sitting there and we're going to be in the hunt. No, we are a fraud team, and it sucks. I hate it. I'm passing it on to you guys. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's terrible.
Dude, I can't believe we are like, 4 days away now when this gets released as a podcast from Thanksgiving. Now that you're talking about just being like, fat pig. So that's how I feel. I'm just a fat pig over here, been stuffing my face for like 3 days, it feels like. But dude, yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. Like, it's kind of crazy when you think about it because it feels like there's little flashes of talent in little pockets. You see it. You see Jack Sanborn on defense run sideline to sideline. You see him making plays, stopping guys in the backfield. You see Jaquan Brisker have a peanut punch type play. You see Eddie Jackson come up and make some hits now, like starting to actually hit people. Like, there's little pockets of talent that are evident throughout the game that the Bears will display, but it's like just the consistency all around. And like, there's no way, like any average defense, and I know the Falcons are averaging, coming to this game, they average about 26 points per game at home. So they've actually been pretty good at putting up points at home. Artificial turf, obviously you're in the dome, you're going to have more points scored. But like, this team with Mariota at quarterback, he tried to give him the ball a couple times as well. Like, even in this game, I think Nicholas Morrow, he had dropped interception. Like,
I saw your tweet. Yeah, like, he's going to try to give you the ball, bro. Like, Roquan would have caught that. Mute.
Yeah. You just had to just get that off and then put the mute on. No, man, honestly, he probably would have. Roquan he'd catch the ball. But like, I don't know, man. I do like what I'm seeing from like certain guys on this defense. I know Kyler Gordon he's probably getting at least a loaf. My brother-in-law texted me as soon as that happened, him basically like jogging on that the first drive of the game. I mean, like,
so bad he just gave up.
Just ridiculous, man. But I don't know. I'll hand it to you, Quentin, because it's like I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, it took me a minute to, not that I didn't know that this team was bad. I knew this team was bad, but like, they are so close to winning every game that it makes you feel like they're not as bad as they are. But then you see the letdown plays and you're like, holy fuck, that was horrible. Like, how is it that bad that you made that play? The guys, I don't know, man. I got to stop talking because I'm getting frustrated here like a true meatball.
I think a perfect example of like how far an okay team can go with good coaching and good locker room and all that is like the 2010 Bears. We think back to that team, that an okay quarterback, pretty awful O-line, not really much as far as weapons goes, and a few studs on defense, and the rest of it was all just kind of piecemealed together. You had Peanut, Briggs, Urlacher, and honestly, that was probably those were the 3 studs. And like, the rest of that was coaching, locker room culture, and they did well. That's about as far as coaching can get you. So when you're comparing that, a good roster who's probably average aside from a handful of guys versus a arguably bad roster like the Bears right now, like how far can you really get? Where it's just I hope a lot of Bears fans didn't set their hopes too high this year, and it's something I was trying to preach before the season of like, at best this is just a okay team. I think even with Fields elevating everybody because they just don't have the horses. I mean, when you can't stop the run against anybody, you're really not. Your hopes of going very far are pretty limited. And that's something that just holds true in the NFL for forever. If you can't stop the run, you're dead in the water.
Think about it like this. Think about that guy right there in the top right-hand corner of the screen running for 100 yards on your defense. Because that's what would happen. He doesn't even know we're talking about him. And he already ran for 100 yards on the Bears defense. Joey, wake up.
Do you want to know? You want to know how frustrated I am right now? Let me just tell you how frustrated I am right now.
Go crazy.
I was a Chicago Bears money line.
Oh yeah, and I put 2 units on him this week because I was like, the streak's coming to an end, and it did not.
Bro, first of all, the win total's in grave danger right now at this point.
Grave, yes.
But I was a Chicago Bears money line and a Marcus Mariota. Thank you, Nicholas Morrow, interception away from winning almost $3,000 on a 10-leg parlay. Bears money line, Nicholas Morrow missed interception.
I always make fun of you too because you'll send me like a 15-leg parlay, and I'm like, I can't even keep up with that over the course of the game.
Bro, I wasn't even tracking it. I knew it was close.
But
fuck.
But yeah, bro, I don't know. I'm a big when it comes to sports gambling, I'm a big proponent of I'm a bust a streak. I like betting a game where I think a team busts a streak. And today I thought the Bears were going to have that streak, but it moves to 4 games now. And it moves to 4 games when we were sitting at 3-4 with everything in front of us. And if you were to tell me that Justin Fields was going to turn into what he's turned into yet this season, and we would not have won a single fucking game about it, I would have called you a liar. But it kind of goes to what Quentin and what you have said, where it's just at the end of the day, no matter which way we try to cut it, this team just is not that good. And yeah, we've seen great plays from Mooney. We've seen great plays from Brisker. Kyler Gordon was making a few plays today. He looked really good today. But and then too, like you said, Joey, Jack Sanborn as well. Also, I'd like to say for the state and for the record that Iowa and every shuck of corn can go fuck themselves, and Iowa's not a state. But
they get away with murder week in and week out.
Oh my God! I'll never bet another Iowa game in my life, 2 or 4 Iowa, never again.
What did you do yesterday? What was it against them? Yeah.
Yeah, well, you got to understand, PJ Fleck's jersey hangs from the bar that my fucking show is at because he went to NIU. So we have a little bit of a bias towards him. But then when I saw that he was wearing sunglasses and it was pitch dark out, I was like, oh, man.
You're done.
We're cooked. But
you know what you do? Beat on this. What you do? You bet on Sam Laporta's receiving yards over every game, and then you just count your ducats at the end of the season. That's what you do.
Listen, give me 5 more Jack Sanborns, and we'll talk about Big Ten football being a serious operation. But until then,
we'll give you Jack Campbell. We'll do the Jack and Jack next year.
Yeah, I'm not willing to budge on that statement, but I think overall from a non-results oriented look at things, right? David Montgomery looked good again today. David Montgomery better be a fucking Chicago Bear until I have kids, and we all know that's going to be a long time from now. So just go ahead and lock him up for the long way. And then on top of that, Darnell Mooney was making catches, making plays, moving the ball, moving the sticks. Cole Kmet, Odell Beckham out there. I was cracking the fuck up when you tweeted that shit at me. That was a beautiful catch. And Cole Kmet, as we talked about on the preseason of this show, Cole Kmet was really going to grow into his own this year because we talked about the quarterback that is young, that needs those kind of bailout weapons. What a great bailout in Cole Kmet this year. And then on top of that, I know we saw a couple negative plays from Treston Ebner, but in a spot where you're not really expecting too much, you're not expecting him to be Khalil Herbert today, I think he did all right. So, and then Equinemius had a couple great like first down catches and stuff like that. Obviously, the expectations are so low as a Chicago Bears fan.
Let's say you wanted to name every single Notre Dame player. Go ahead and shout out Mustafa for his excellent play today too.
Tevin Jenkins could never. Sam Mustafa prevented an interception. But you know what I'm saying? Like, offensively, we didn't look awful. We didn't get points when we needed them in the third quarter. We got blanked in the third quarter. If we find 6, maybe 7 points in the third quarter, I'm like giddy right now. I'm smiling. You can't take it off my face. We probably win this game, or at least are having a chance to stop them on the goal line instead of Young Wei Koo just blasting our cheeks into Bolivian. But that's what happened. We're Bears fans. We can't have nice things, and we lost again today.
Yeah, the more obvious the passing situation, the worse we get. Yeah. I mean, it's really that simple. The second worst pass rush in the league just kicked our O-line in the nuts and ran by them.
Yes.
Sad, dude. Sad.
They weren't even blitzing most of the game. They were just sending forward and beating us.
Yeah, fucking.
They're sending 3.
Grady Jarrett.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Grady Jarrett over and over again. Like,
yeah.
What?
I took 2 very sicko bets for the 3 p.m. slate. Go Cowboys, go Broncos.
Get it.
All right, let's find a way to bring some positivity to this episode. Offensive, defensive players of the game, and then we'll even bring us back into the mud a little bit, because I've been in the mud since like 10 o'clock since the Ecuador game kicked off. Shout out to the World Cup. But one positive that you absolutely have to see cleaned up before we take the field again next Sunday.
Something we have to see cleaned up?
Yeah. I don't know why I said positive. I've had a couple too many Miller Lights.
One negative cleaned up, one positive that we need to get worse in?
No positives. One negative, something that you saw that you need absolutely cleaned up before we play another fucking NFL game.
Learn how to fucking pass block. That's it. Learn how to tackle. Well, most of the guys know how to tackle. It's just, bad. Like you're overrunning, over pursuit, just different things, like not understanding where you're supposed to be. But like
Eddie Jackson had the Christmas Story fit on, and we were indoors. I don't know if they told him or not that we were playing the game indoors, but he was ready for a fucking winter wonderland.
He was ready to be at Wrigley. They got their winter wonderland right now.
Yeah, he was at Wrigley in his mind, but we were really in Atlanta.
Well, we love Eddie Jackson for that now. Confirmed Cubs fan. Yeah, man. Pass block. Learn how to fucking pass block. That's all I got for that.
And then I'll go players of the game, offense, defense.
Players of the game. Let's go. I mean, I don't want to take your boy with Komet. I love Darnell Mooney's catch. He was wide open, obviously, on that play. It's a nice little pick route for the touchdown, but Fields led him a little bit too far. And I think, not that it was a bad throw, it was a good throw, but Mooney made a hell of a catch on that and then braced for impact. He kind of, he landed pretty hard on that touchdown catch and made some other nice plays. So I'll go with Darnell Mooney on offense. Instead of taking the obvious Fields bailout every game. And then defense, I'll go, give it to Sanborn. You have to. I don't know how you can't. I don't know how you don't with the way that he was all over the place as far as getting in the backfield, sideline to sideline. Like, he kept up with Cordell Patterson and kept him short of a first down on one play. That's like, dude, Patterson's fucking fast. Like, he's faster than Sanborn. So, like, I mean,
I was gonna say you can't give it to Nicholas Morrow. So
no, especially after dropping the interception, you're done, dude. Never again. You're not getting a defensive player of the week from me, even if you are defensive player of the week.
Rocom would caught it. Quentin, how about you, my guy? One thing you need to absolutely change, and then your players of the game.
Know your pass blocking assignment. There were multiple times where, whether it was Braxton Jones or Cody Whitehair or Michael Schofield, where they were just, guy was running right by them untouched because they did not know their pass blocking assignment or they moved on from it too quickly. I hate to repeat Joey's, but like that's the film room. That's install. You need to know your pass blocking assignments and know if that guy's coming, the guy who was running free in your lane, you need to know what you need to do. Like that is just, it's hard to do anything right when that is not happening right. Offensive player of the game, I'm probably going Monty. Even though the last play went through his hands, he played a very strong game. He was fighting for every yard, and that ball that he caught from Fields up the sideline, like his ability to adjust what he was doing in a moment like that was impressive. That is how you are a dual threat out there as a running back in the passing game. Like that was very well done. Wasn't an easy catch, and he was able to keep running up the sideline after the catch. On defense, I'm going Jalen Johnson. He didn't get. I mean, he locked up Olamide Zacchaeus on that last play for them. The drive before the Bears got the ball back, where they tried to go deep to him, he had him blanketed. He did not get dunked on by Kyle Pitts or Drake London, which is impressive in itself when these guys are standing 6'4" and 6'6" and running, 4.5, 4.40s.
He had a turnover too, didn't he?
He recovered a fumble, saw him in on a few run stops. He was playing aggressive, getting his nose dirty. So, yeah, Jalen Johnson for me, good game, good bounce back game from him after he looked like he was playing on I don't remember what injury it was, but if it was a lower body injury, it looked like he was playing on one leg last week.
Yeah, I think it was his oblique.
Okay, with half a oblique or half a abdomen.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he got a lot of shit this past week. I feel like that, like maybe unnecessarily, because I feel like he's normally the guy that you just don't worry about. So it's good to see, like you said, good to see him really have a solid game this week.
Yeah, and then for me, I'll go a little bit more meatball with like what I need to see, right? But not necessarily just pass block, run block, whatever you say. Protect your fucking investment, okay? We're talking about let's build around Justin Fields. Let's make sure we have everything around Justin Fields. Let's get the receivers. Let's get the tight ends. Let's get the running backs, all this and that. You're treating him like fucking Andrew Luck back there. The kid's getting smoked. Literally getting smoked like he's a UFC fighter every time he puts the helmet on for the Chicago Bears. And as an organization, if that's the guy that we're looking to build around, you have to do better than that. So not just pass block, just listen. If you got money on the line with Justin Fields, this is your first-round pick. You traded away picks and mortgaged the future for this guy. You have to act as such. And with the offensive line that we have around him, it's an absolute joke. You have to get the best out of every single guy in that room, even to try to get him in a better position. And even then, he's still ending up running for his life. On offense, I think I'm going to go David Montgomery. The way he was running today, every time he got his hands on the ball, there was an extra oomph, an extra little push, and just a couple extra yards every time he got there. So I thought Montgomery looked really great today. And in a game that we talked about, maybe we'll see more Evan or maybe we'll see Darrington Evans. One thing we also talked about at the end of the show towards last week was maybe we'll just see a little bit more Monty. Maybe Monty will give us a little bit more because he's probably felt very disrespected with the not necessarily like sharing of the load with Khalil Herbert because it's a two-back league right now in the NFL, but with the percentage that he's been giving carries and giving touches to Khalil Herbert, given what he's given to our offense. And then on the defensive side of the ball, it pains me to say it. I got to say it, though. I said it earlier in the episode. Kyler Gordon really impressed me today. I know maybe he didn't have the best numbers, but from what I saw from him in individual plays and just me being a Kyler Gordon truther where I'm like, yeah, he hasn't been good for us this year. I think he looked good today, and especially in a spot where you're going up against some premier young receivers, a premier young tight end, and then two quality backs in Algier and Patterson that are going to hurt you, whether it's carrying it out of the backfield or catching it out of the backfield. So it is what it is. We fucking lost. We stink. Like, luckily, all of our college teams are not necessarily great right now, but kind of they're winning games for us. But
I got 3 W's yesterday.
Yeah, our Texas Tech won, right? Right, Q?
Oh yeah, Tech's going bowling.
Yeah. we'll keep NIU out of the conversation, but ND looks like the best team in the fucking nation right now. Put us in the playoff. But the Bears, we're stinking up the joint right now. But as Quentin said in his little bio for this episode, one game closer to Will Anderson, one game closer to a better draft pick, and hopefully just one game closer to a better product out there on the field. But other than that, do you guys have anything that you want to touch on before we wrap up for this week's show?
Yeah, I just want to mention this. I think this tweet sums up perfectly this game from Jonathan Wood. Bears had 4 drives in the second half. The only one that gained more than 10 yards required Fields to make multiple ridiculous plays to convert on 3rd and long. Chicago's coaching staff got their ass handed to them today on a silver platter. I agree.
Yeah, the coaching was – that's it. That's it. I think coaching and talent around Fields, those are kind of my final thoughts too. And I feel like what did Fields – what did they say on the broadcast? He was did he tie Kyler Murray's record for most consecutive games with a rushing and a passing touchdown today?
Oh, I thought you were about to say for most drop shots in a Call of Duty match.
No, that's just the Kyler Murray award. Fields won't be tying anything with that. No, but I think it's 4 straight games, I think, with a passing and
that
a
sounds
rushing.
right.
Yeah.
So, hey, maybe next week he breaks that record. I don't know that anybody's looking at that record. Is like, super impressive.
Does anybody even know who he play next week? I haven't even looked yet.
That's the thing I was about to ask you guys, actually.
I don't remember.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Looking it up.
The Jets. Play the Jets. And listen,
Oh, that's right.
if you
Zach Wilson.
Listen, if you think we're going to win that game after how the Jets just got gamed approximately one play after I placed a live money line bet on them, we're not winning that game next week. I promise you that. If you believe in like just trends and like Jets are 6-4 now, maybe a playoff
the
team.
defense is good.
If anything, look at it like this: Justin Fields will outperform Zach Wilson, and that will give us an opportunity late into the 3rd and 4th quarter to try and win that game. Are we going to be able to win that game? Tune in next Sunday to find out. That's where I'm at with it.
That was a hell of a fucking plug right there.
Yeah.
Tune in next Sunday to find.
Do you guys got any final wrap-up thoughts?
Nope, that's it from me.
All right. Well, the Bears dropped this one 27-24 down at Mercedes-Benz Stadium to the Atlanta Falcons. One drive short, one stop short. Weren't able to find a way to win this one, but we'll be back with you guys midweek. No action, so we'll be with you guys on Wednesday, because if we came with you guys on an episode on Thursday, I don't think you would listen to us because it's Thanksgiving. So get around some friends, get around some family, enjoy some turkey, enjoy whatever you guys eat on Thanksgiving. And most importantly, there's 4 football games, 3 NFL, and a college. So definitely try to watch some football out there on Thanksgiving. But we'll give you guys an episode on Wednesday night to get you guys prepared for this week's upcoming matchup against the New York Jets. Got to find a way to win a football game and end the streak just for our sanity, because win, lose, or draw, we'll be with you guys either way. But it's a lot more fun when we're cracking jokes and Justin Fields made a play here and the Bears won the game there. But the last few weeks it hasn't gone our way. You can follow my guys Joey at Joey Knows Nothing and Quinn at ButtKissStats. Make sure to throw our main account a follow at Bears on Tap and myself at BDon300. But we'll be back with you guys in the middle of the week. And then, like I said, we'll be back with you guys on Sunday to find out if we won a game or not. But either way, stay tuned. Take a look at our website, too, On Tap Sportsnet, for all the Bears content that we drop throughout the week. But we really do appreciate you listening to this week's show of Bears on Tap, whether you're with us in the YouTube, the Facebook, Twitter, or any of your podcasting platforms. We really do appreciate you. And bear down.
Bear down.
Bear down.